Morning, guys. Morning, evening, whatever it is. It's Monday night at 8 p.m. I think it's the 24th or something like that. Finally able to do a live show. Wait and see who shows up here, and then we'll try to get things going here a little bit. Coming to you live from Studio 109, somewhere in the good old U.S. of A. Out on another cattle buying trip as usual. Actually, I'm out of my normal spot out in Pennsylvania for a change. So anyway, once see, I got a couple people joined in here. Make sure you guys comment or whatever. That way I know who's here, and if somebody decides they want to come on, I might ask for your 2 cents worth here. I think tonight I'm going to probably talk a little bit about what's wrong, not just in the trucking industry, but also in the world. That's going to be a big thing to tackle, I guess, but really something that's kind of been weighing heavy on me. And there's Paul French. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Carl Freeman, thanks for tuning in here. Something that's kind of been weighing a little bit on the heavy side of me lately. I've been talking to some friends of mine and everything like that, and you know, we're really in the public's eye and everything like we always are. But you know, what we can do to try to improve our image out here, as well as try to be better citizens and things like that. Because back in the day, I know a lot of us have been at it for a while. A lot of the guys that I know quite well and everything like that, we've been out here doing this for a day or two, but we always talk about the good old days. Well, I think the good old days are still here, in my opinion. It's what we kind of need to bring back, instead of always talking about the way it used to be. You know, we're always so quick to criticize others out here, instead of being quick to volunteer. Instead of being quick to volunteer to help somebody, we're always pretty quick to pass judgment, which is pretty simple to do in life. I mean, we're pretty judgmental as people anyway. So anyway, I see there's a few people joined in here. Paul and Carl have already commented that they're here. We'll get back to what I was talking about here in a minute. I got to thinking about this too, because Paul just mentioned he's waiting the storm. He's prepping. My buddy Paul French, he lives down in the Houston area, southeast of there. Our thoughts and prayers to everybody that's in the path of this 1-2 punch, or I don't know if it's going to be a 1 punch or what it is. I think this evening that first storm was supposed to come ashore, and I think it's kind of petered out, for lack of better words. So anybody who's down in the Gulf Coast down there, waiting on these hurricanes to come rolling in, tropical storms, where they're going to be, we need to keep everybody in their thoughts and prayers. You know, forget friends down there. I mean, I know they've been through a lot the last several years. Paul himself is one of them that they weathered. I think he was on the road, because I was down in the Houston area. I don't know, what was it, 4 years ago, going on. Well, it's about 3 years ago when the storm hit the Gulf Coast down there. Took a load of relief supplies down there, and it was a very eye-opening experience. So, you know, the news and everything else, it doesn't do any justice what them people go through and what could potentially happen. You know, especially since those things are only going to be maybe 100 miles apart when the first storm comes through, and then the second one kind of comes in 24 hours later. So let's, you know, keep everybody. If you got any friends or anything down there like I do, make sure you check on them and make sure they weather the storm and everything quite well. But anyway, going back to what I was going to mention, I was going to talk about, kind of goes hand in hand with that. You know, it's easy to sit here and say, oh, you know, I'm here for somebody, or I'm here to I'll be here for you if you need me. Words are cheap, you know, and actions speak a whole lot better than words. Prime example, I was talking to a friend of mine. He was, I forget where he was at. It was a couple of weeks ago. He was at a truck stop, and there was a guy struggling to get into a parking spot. So he saw what was going on. He jumped out and he actually helped the young driver get himself situated into the parking spot. And got him backed in there. Probably took him 15, 20 minutes. But, the guy actually learned something instead of being frustrated. The friend of mine, he just told him, he said, man, just relax, People are in a hurry, they're in a hurry. Big deal, they'll get over it. You got to get experience somehow. We all learn from the school of hard knocks, and we need to remember that. Out here in this industry. And, it's real simple to hammer away at somebody that's less experienced or hasn't maybe had the proper training. It's one thing to go through a school, but as we all know, you don't learn nothing in school. You learn it out here in the school of hard knocks. So we should always try to remember back to our younger days or less experienced days, and no matter what we were doing. It doesn't matter if you're driving truck or, like my case here, I do a certain amount of truck driving, do a certain amount of cattle buying, cattle handling, and everything else. And there's Adam Stump just tuned in, I see too. In life, no matter what you're doing, you can always do something better. And sometimes you can learn from somebody younger who you don't think has the experience. But you know what? I've learned a lot from Tyler, and I know he's not here right now. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I learned a lot, from being a father, helping raise him. He taught me how to actually be a better person, believe it or not. He'd say, hey, why don't you try something this way or that way instead of the way you always do it? Or I'd turn him loose on doing something, and I'd ask him, what are you doing it like that for? Well, I'm the one doing it. I was like, well, this is what I've always found work for me. Why don't you do it that way? He goes, well, I'm not going to learn nothing if I keep doing it somebody else's way. Sure enough, I sat and watched what he did. He got it done. Might have taken a little bit longer, but one thing you got to remember is too, somebody without the experience is they're not going to do it as quick as you are, and maybe from your eyes they're not doing it the way that you would do it. So it's easy to cast judgment and say, well, that's not the right way to do this, that, or the other thing. And you sit back and they achieve the same results. And after they've done it a couple of times like that, they get it done probably a little bit faster. So take that into consideration at times. When you're doing something, if somebody's got another idea, hey, might actually learn a better way to do something instead of the way that you did it. We always talk about being old school. Well, old school doesn't necessarily mean you got to do it the old way. There might be a better way to do it, or maybe a smarter way of doing it that might actually save you time and make it easier on you. I know things aren't getting no easier for me, and let's see. I ain't afraid to admit it. I'm getting old. I'll say it right there. But doesn't mean I'm not wiser, even though I'm an idiot. So there's Jeremy. He's tuned in here too. Adam, good to see you tuned in here as well. I think I'm up right now. I'm not real sure. I think I'm alive. I'm not real sure. That's a good way to put it. Jeremy, if you can comment back, are you in a spot where you can go live, or if you're rolling down the road, we'll put this off to another time. I know you had said you were waiting to load earlier this morning, and you had a short jog with a load of them squealers headed somewhere. So I'll wait for you to comment back. Not real sure what you're into. Kind of been a bit of a rough weekend. Tyler went off to college on Friday, got him moved in. That was kind of an experience right there. Kicked him off the curb, was in and out in 10 minutes. Everybody's been asking me, oh, how'd it go getting him moved in? Piece of cake, really. Backed up into a parking spot close to where he's staying. Unloaded his goodies. I think I was gone in like 20 minutes. That's the best move in I think I've ever done. So, wasn't hard at all. He was anxious to get me out of there and kind of start that next chapter in life. And Haven't talked to him much other than text message here or there. Little Cuss is pretty daggone independent, as Adam knows quite well. He he's not a bad person. I'm going to try to bring Jeremy in here. We're going to talk about some more of this with what I was discussing earlier. Yep, I don't think I can pull you in here. Now it's actually maybe going to add you if you've kept yourself out of trouble. We'll see what happens. It says it's adding you, so I'm not real sure.
What are we doing? You hear me okay? Yeah, might be a better when I'm parked. Might have to try this again when I'm parked. What's that? I've got about 3 hours, so maybe we can go live on our page and do something. Cut it, John. Since I'm banned from live, so.
Right. I'll be back to you in a while.
Alright, yeah, because I'm bouncing down Arkansas.
Well, sorry about that. That was worth a try there. It didn't work as well as I thought it was going to. I know he's got a dash cam mounted like that. So, but anyway, was talking about, we'll get back to what I was talking about before there, kind of learning from Tyler, even though he's off to school now. He, some of the things that he taught me before he went off to school, you know, I mean, it's, I guess like any dad, you learn with experience. You know, it's the same way with life. Those of you that got kids know what I'm talking about like that too. But you know, we could actually learn a lot from our best of friends and everything like that. I guess. Heck on it. I lost my train of thought. I guess I'm getting older or something like that. Anyway, now we talk about how we're always going to be there for people. Also, you know, not just being there, but you know, you sit here, say somebody's going through a tough stretch in life and what have you, and you know, it's real easy just to shoot somebody text message, you know, social media or whatever. Hey, I'll be there if you need anything. Well, kind of gets me sometimes with, you know, that there's a certain. Hold on. I lost something here. Try this again. We're real quick to volunteer to be there for somebody, but yet when people need you the most, and I know sometimes I'm guilty of it myself. You know, tell people, hey, I'm there if you need me. But can't always pick up, but I always try to make it a point to get back with somebody. It might take a little while. Kind of depends on what's going on, or if I don't hear the phone or whatever, I'm zonked out. But you know, you should always, if you tell somebody you're going to be there for them, you should do everything you can, and never really, I've come to never expect anything when I help somebody out, which that's the way we should be completely anyway. You know, just good values, good family, and everything else like that. You know, treat everybody like a big family. If somebody's going through a tough stretch, you know, sometimes all you got to do is just be there around them or something like that, or just be an ear. Not really have to do anything, but just that calming presence, I guess, is a good way to put it. Got another friend that's getting ready to go through another pretty hard stretch. You know, you don't have to look very far to realize that you're pretty fortunate with everything that you've got. We're pretty fortunate that, you know, you may think at that time that you're going through a rough spell, but it doesn't take very long to realize, or you hear a story or listen to the news or whatever, all of a sudden your problems become pretty inconsequential to what somebody else is going through. You need to always keep that in mind. Kind of what I've learned to do as well, because there's always somebody out there that's going through a rough patch, you know, especially in the world of social media. And you can usually tell, you know, those of you that have your best friends or whatever, you think you know a lot about them, but if you really pay attention, there might be something else going on, and you don't even realize it. So I know I'm kind of rambling. I'm dancing around things. I see Robert Green's in here as well. You know, he's been off the road for a day or two. Like Jeremy just said, every day is a blessing. That's exactly right. Because you never know when that's going to be your last chance, you know, to tell somebody that how you care or what you think. I'm pretty blessed. I haven't suffered a lot of loss lately, but you know, we all go through it, or you know, you've got friends that you might think that everything's okay, but it's not, or you know, you need to sit back and not be so self-absorbed on everything that you're doing. There you go. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's something it just brought a thought back there. Jeremy just made the comment about that. Don't sweat the small stuff. I used to worry about taking care of the little stuff, you know, when I was an owner operator, and everything I did when I was doing the oversized super loads and everything like that. Take care of the little stuff, and usually you don't have any big stuff because you've taken care of something that was, you considered something small, but it didn't become anything big because you took care of the small things when you were there or when you were just getting things going. Yeah, there you go. Got to learn not to let people or things bother you at all. So anyway, I need to make a quick mention of a couple of our sponsors. The Davy Crockett Travel Center down in Greenville, Tennessee. I think it's exit 36. Davy Crockett Travel Center. They're a big sponsor, big supporter of Chrome and Steel Radio, so we appreciate everything they do. Full service truck stop down there. That's the Davy Crockett TA. Make sure you stop in there. It's a full service truck stop. They got a shop. They got Papa John's. They got a diner, outdoor diner. So I guess it's a picnic every day. It's got Dunkin' Donuts in it, Papa John's, like I said. So make sure you stop in. Tell them Chrome and Steel sent you. And also rightload.com, RITE, load, LOAD.com. Good place to go. You don't have to deal with brokers, anything like that. You're working directly with the customer. It is a load board, but it's not through a broker. It's more of a load locator type of service. So give that a check. Check out rightload.com. Get yourself set up with them. I think their prices are $29 a load is all you pay. You aren't dealing with brokers or anything like that. You're dealing directly with the customer. Matthew is really doing a good job with that up there. I know a lot of people are happy. You know, he's starting to get a lot more loads, and it's loads with some consistency. I think I saw something the other day. He had like 29 loads that were going to be back to back. A customer was needing moves. So I don't know if I know he's got refrigerated. I think he's working on flatbed, everything else. So give that a quick look as well. Also, always neglect to bring up Jack's Chrome Shop. Make sure you look up jackschromeshop.com for all your chrome and steel needs. It's a full service chrome shop now. He's slinging chrome and they're doing installations. I know he's doing a build. For those of you that don't follow Jack's Chrome Shop here in Chrome and Steel, Dave is doing a video type of deal, kind of a from the beginning to the end. I know he's restoring a 1980s model K100, start to finish, more or less one of them projects from out of the weeds. So I think he's making a little bit of headway. I haven't actually seen it yet. It's $27, not $29. See, thanks, Robert. I'm the one that's a fool, and I gave something away. Oh yeah, Davy Crockett also has an IHOP in it too. It's an independent franchise, unlike a lot of them that were shut down that were franchises. So get pretty much anything you need there at the Davy Crockett. But anyway, going back to Jack's Chrome Shop, full service chrome shop, whatever you need, you can get it. So give them a call up there as well for any of your chrome and lights and everything else. So I know he's working on that show truck. He's going to be taking around to some of the shows and what have you, which leads me to, yes, there is going to be a truck show. I want to get it out there on September 25th, 26th, and 27th in Bullhaulin, Pennsylvania, which is up on I-80. It's around exit 198, around the Lamar exit at the Clinton County Fairgrounds. There's the Truckers for Hope cruise in up there, which yours truly is planning on being there. I believe Dave is planning on being there, with it being the only quote-unquote truck show there is. I know it's a pride and polish type of deal. It's going to be a really good time. Friday night they've got truck and tractor pulls, not just pickup pulls, but also semi pulls. Any benefits that are they're going to be doing they're going to be doing a benefit also. I think it's $7 at the gate. If you look it up, truckersforhope.com, you can check out all the information. They've got campgrounds up there. I think it's $40 to camp for the duration of the show. Stay right there. They're going to have food. I think there's like 6 or 7 different food vendors there. I believe there was, I don't know, the last truck show I heard about up in New Hampshire, there was over 400 trucks up there. I think it was 10-4 Magazine's show up there. They drew over 400 trucks. But this Truckers for Hope, it's for cystic fibrosis. That's all going to be for any proceeds from that truck show will go to cystic fibrosis. And myself and Sharon Waters from Pure Country Livestock will also be there. We've got a lot of merchandise, Chrome and Steel, Pure Country Livestock Association. We got a lot of merchandise, hoodies, T-shirts, hats, and all that kind of stuff there too. We're going to be selling. It's pretty reasonable. I think the T-shirts are $20 and the hoodies are around 40, but they're good quality. It's not wear it once and throw it away. It's actually pretty good quality stuff. But you can also, if you look up Pure Country Livestock Association through Facebook, you can get the information there, and you can order all our merchandise through the Bullpen Washout, Shippensville, PA. Sharon's pretty good to work with. She'll do her best to get it out to you. I know with the mail and everything out here in Pennsylvania, the hours were kind of jacked up, so trying to get orders put together. It was taking her a little while to get stuff out, and then you never know about the good old Postal Service or FedEx. I know a bunch of stuff got hung up between FedEx and UPS at set distribution centers for several weeks before it actually finally got out to the other end. So if you do order something, just bear with her. She's real good about giving you a tracking number and everything too, so you can track the progress of an order. So give her a call out there too. You know, I think there's pictures posted on the Facebook page of the designs. The proceeds from Pure Country's merchandise is for cancer awareness, as well as it goes into pediatric cancer, as well as if you buy an autism shirt, it's about $5 or $6 a shirt. Of the cost of that shirt is actually going back to the foundation that finds its way back into a children's home or children's hospital or something like that. That's what we work hard at doing at 501c3. And that's kind of what the deal is up in Bullhaulin. It's going to be for cystic fibrosis. And Saturday night, the 26th of September. Friend of Chrome and Steel and personal friend of mine and a lot of you, Tony Justice is going to be performing on Saturday night. I'm not sure what the cost is or anything like that, but there's going to be a concert up there, and Tony is not headlining. He's actually opening for the one and only Aaron Tippin. So that's going to be a really good time. It's going to be a show you don't want to miss. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Tony Justice, he covered George Strait's Brothers of the Highway a couple albums ago, and Aaron Tippin actually did it as a duet with him. So maybe, just maybe, get an opportunity to see them do it as a duet. I haven't heard whether there's going to be doing that or not, but it'd be kind of cool if it does. And Jeremy just reminded me, you can get to Pure Country Livestock. Go to facebook.com, Pure Country Livestock Association. You can get to it. Or you can go to pclabrotherhood.com. You can message through there, and we'll get back to you on order those. But anyway, and that kind of what I was talking about earlier on the being there for others. That's really what we're also about at Pure Country Livestock Association. The livestock world, not saying the rest of the industry isn't this way, but the livestock world, we tend to really watch out for our own. If you ever notice, a lot of livestock guys are kind of off by themselves all the time anyway. And you don't hear a lot of chatter, but if you hear that thundering voice out there on the radio in the middle of the night and realize, you know what, there was a bull rack, not a whole lot said, maybe a bear report, and that's about it as they're rolling through the night. That's just kind of the way it works, but trust me, we do look out for each other. They don't have to call each other out by carrier name or nothing like that like the rest of the industry. We just say what we got to say and have a safe trip. So yeah, it's the code that we live by, being there for each other. I mean, we all know in the livestock world that, especially you start getting into some of these cattle, that we don't always have the luxury of having somebody there with us to load or somebody to load us. We're actually the ones doing the loading and everything else, and it's pretty easy to get hemmed up in a trailer. You're by yourself, middle of the night in a barn, loading cattle out, and there's nobody there. You can get stepped on, you can get kicked, you can fall down, you get run over, or whatever like that. So it's kind of that mutual respect that we have for each other in the livestock world, and that can be carried over, into everything. It doesn't matter. Jeremy was telling me about a deal, though, and we all understand this isn't the world that we used to. Us old school guys are never afraid to offer a helping hand, but anyway, anymore, the way the world is getting, people really, they don't make the time to help anybody out, but the other side is there's so many situations you hear, especially with all the rioting and protesting and stuff going on. You're hearing stories of truck drivers getting drug out of their trucks, getting beaten and everything else. Well, I heard a story of a guy, I think it was down in Missouri, livestock hauler pulled over to help another bull rack, pulled over, the guy was broke down and needed a turbo clamp. The guy goes back in his truck, pulls out his toolbox, gets the turbo clamp, helps the guy put it on. I don't know, it took about 25, 30 minutes by the time they got him going again, and the guy realized there was two drivers in that truck that he stopped to help. One driver kind of just disappeared. He didn't think nothing of it. Got back in his truck and he realized his wallet had been moved. Looked at his wallet, and the other driver had apparently taken all of his cash out of his wallet. Thank goodness he didn't take any credit cards, driver's license, or anything else. Right there's what makes people hesitant to even consider helping people out anymore. You know, you hear stories about that stuff, and it came firsthand from the driver that it happened to. So it's not like it's one of them trucker stories or whatever. So if you do stop to help somebody, make sure you lock your truck up. You know, just kind of a lesson learned on that deal. Don't be afraid to help somebody, but you know, at the same time, make sure you secure your stuff so you don't become another victim of, you know, getting robbed or whatever. But you know, it's just kind of it's a sad situation that we're in today. You stop and help a fellow driver, and next thing you know, you gave them the parts they needed, got them on the road, got them headed down the road. They take off, and man alive, you know, you took a $17 band clamp, 30 minutes of your time you lost to help somebody out, and then they rob you $200. So, you know, just if you do help somebody out, make sure you're careful on what you do. That actually came from one of the members of Pure Country Livestock that actually stopped to help somebody that Jeremy just told me about. We discussed it the other day. That was actually from one of the members of Pure Country that this actually happened to him, and it was, I'm not going to mention the carrier. You know, you don't want to have anything wrong happen. It's an unfortunate situation, and I know there was we'll just put it this way, amongst our circles, we know who people are, and I'm not making any threats or nothing like that, but we know who the company was. I know who the truck is. That's all it takes. That way, we're not the ones taking matters into our own hands. That's why I refuse to mention who the company was or anything like that. But, you know, just, you know, shout out to the guy that was willing to stop, take time out of his day and his time rolling down the road to help a stranger out, trying to get them down the road. You know, and I realize that that's why people are hesitant to help, but, you know, still, you only live once anyway. You know, it's just, it's the code that we live by. I mean, that's what ours should be, as well as citizens within the, not just the country, but around the world like that. You know, yeah, Robert, it's good seeing you on here tonight. We'll talk to y'all later. Hopefully one of these days I'll be able to catch up with somebody, bring them on as a guest, discuss the hot topics of the day right now. I know things are starting to heat up politically, so make sure you follow what's going on, which I'm sure a lot of us do anymore. We got nothing better to do than ride around and either listen to our favorite tunes or follow a bit of political stuff. But just make sure you think, and not just think about how that person's going to help you, but what they can do to help this country, because this is all we got. We're the last bastion of hope in the world. I know myself and several others that I'm very close to. We all served in the armed forces, and I'm not saying that to draw attention to ourselves, but you know, when you go pass a vote in a ballot box, make sure you think about who you're voting for and why you're voting for them, and think about their past. It's real easy to sit here and say, well, if I'm elected, I'm going to do this. My God, you've had an opportunity to do it. You've been in that job for a lifetime. You've been able to influence things for your whole life. Why didn't you do something about it then? Instead of just bashing the person's there, you've had opportunities. Make sure you can do it. It's kind of like what we can do as citizens in this country, as well as in the truck driving industry. Instead of bashing our fellow drivers and running the industry down with somebody, well, guess what? We need to be the somebody. You need to be the somebody. So next time you start thinking about somebody needs to do something about it, be that person that you see every time you look in the mirror. If you can look yourself in the mirror, you be the somebody. You never know. You might be the next person to make a difference in somebody else's life. I mean, that's what I try to do, is make a difference, as small as it may seem at the time. Just trying to make a difference. So anyway, well, I'm going to get off of here tonight. At least I was able to get back on tonight. I was going to get on last week. I had somebody lined up, and I could not keep an internet connection up through Facebook Messenger. So anyway, I'm going to get off of here. Hopefully see y'all on June 25th, 26th, and 27th up in Pennsylvania at the Truckers for Hope cruise-in up there. If you go to their website, you get all the information on that as far as registration and what have you. So anyway, I'm going to get off of here. Y'all have a good night. We will talk later. Have a good night. See y'all.